talk about finding the volume and surface area. So, as you should already know, volume is the amount a container can hold, or what you can put into it, what you can fill it with. Okay, so what volume is putting stuff into the container, but the surface area is all of that distance around the figure. So it's the sum of the areas of the surfaces. So think about it, if you're trying to wrap a present, you're wrapping the surface area of whatever it is, a box, a cylinder. So the surface area is the sum of the area on surfaces of the figure. And that is wrapping or covering. Okay, so today we're just focusing on prisms and cylinders. These are prisms you have done before. So it shouldn't be too much difficulty with this one. Just keep in mind, when you are doing any volume and surface area problems, you will have that formula sheet. So please make sure you're actually using it so you can familiarize yourself with where the formulas are and what each letter represents. If you do forget what the letters represent, it is listed at the very bottom of the formula sheet. Okay, so prisms. Those are your boxes, your cubes. So the volume of a prism is super easy, something you should be familiar with. It is your length times your width times your height. So in this case, our prism has a length of 5, a width of 2, and a height of 3. If you mix the numbers around and you say that the length is 2 and the width is 5, it's not going to make a difference. Just make sure that whatever you pick as the length stays the length. So I'm using 5 as my length, my width will be 2, and my height's going to be 3. So our surface, or our volume formula is length times width times height. So length times width times height. And you're going to see me write my L in a cursive format like that, just so we don't confuse it with the number 1. So our length is 5, our width is 2, and our height is 3. So we just do 5 times 2 times 3. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 3 is 30. Remember, when you are looking at volume, your units are always cubic units. So since these are feet, our unit is going to be feet cubed. Simple enough, right? Surface area. So remember, this is covering the figure. We're trying to find the area of each of the surfaces. There are 6 different faces here. Remember, the faces are these, okay? There's 2 of this face, 2 of this face, and 2 of this face. So that's where the formula comes in. We have 2 of your length times your width. Okay, so 2 of this face, 2 of your length times your height, so 2 of this face, and then 2 of your width times your height, so 2 of that face. Very similar to what we did when we were trying to find the composite figures, when we just found the area of each of the 3 sides and then multiplied it by 2. That's what we're doing here. Okay, so our surface area is 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. Now make sure whenever you have your length, you keep it the same with height. Doesn't matter what you assign here. In prisms, doesn't matter. So as long as you keep it the same. So my length, every time I see an L, I'm going to put 5. Every time I see W, I'm going to put 2. Every time I see H, I'm going to put 3. So surface area equals 2 times my length, which is 5, my width, which is 2, plus 2 times my length again, which is 5, my height is 3, plus 2 times my width, which is 2, and my height, which is 3. So order of operations tells us we need to do the multiplication first. So I'm going to do the multiplication first, and then we're going to add it all together. Surface area equals 2 times 5 times 2 is 20, plus 2 times 5 times 3 is 30, plus 2 times 2 times 3 is 12. And when I add all of these up, 20 plus 30 plus 12 should get me 62. My unit is in feet. And remember, with area, it's always square units. So simple enough. You should have done this already, so that's a review. You may have already done cylinders, but we are going to cover that today too. You should have already done cylinders. So, cylinders. These are like your soup cans, a Pringles can. For the volume, we're taking the area of the base, pi r squared, the area of our base, remember the area of a circle is pi r squared, area of the base times the height. Okay, and you may see area of the base written as a capital B. That means area of base. You'll see that a lot tomorrow. So I just want to make sure you're familiar with it right now. So pi r squared is our area of the base times our height. So to find the area of the base, we need to know what our radius is. Our radius, remember, is halfway across the circle. So our radius here is 5. The volume equals pi r squared h. Okay? So pi times 5 squared times our height, which is 12. Order of operations tells me to do the grouping symbols first, but since there's nothing really in, we have the exponent there, so we're going to do that one first. Okay? Grouping symbols, then exponents. So focus on that one first. 5 squared is what? 25. We're going to use 3.14 for pi, so I'm just going to change it to that right now. I'm just going to rewrite everything. Please make sure you are rewriting everything as you bring it down. If you don't do that, you might forget something, and that could cause your answer to be incorrect. So now that I've brought everything down, I've changed my pi to 3.14. I can just punch this in the calculator. 3.14 times 25 times 12. And when I do all that, I get 942. It's in inches. Remember, volume is cubic, so inches cubed. Now, surface area is a little different. Okay, we're finding for the surface area, we've got this circle. Okay, so we need the area of the circle, we need the area of this circle down here, and then we need the area of this piece. Now, if you've ever taken off a wrapper of a soup can, you'll notice that when you take that wrapper off, it's actually a rectangle. So this is really something like that. Okay, so you're finding the area of the rectangle, the area of the circle, area of the circle. Now, to find the area of the rectangle, this circle is the same, the circumference of the circle is the same distance as this. So that's where the 2 pi r comes from. Okay, so the area of this, we find the length by using the circumference of the circle times the height. All right, so that's just where these numbers are coming from. So 2 area of that circles plus the area of, or the circumference of the circle times the height. So surface area equals 2 times 3.14 times our radius, which is 5 squared, plus 2 times 3.14 times our radius again, which is 5. See, that's the area of the circumference of the circle, area of the circle. Okay, so circumference of the circle times our height, which is 12. So now, order of operations tells me to do 5 squared first, so I'll do that. Bring it all down. All right, now that I brought it down, I can follow, again, order of operations says multiply first, so I'll multiply all this together, multiply all this together. So when I multiply all this together, 2 times 3.14 times 25 is 157, plus 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 12 is 376.8. Okay, so the last step is to add it together. So my surface area is 157 plus 376.8, and that gets me 533.8 inches. And remember, it's area. Surface area is always a squared unit.